5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. The sounds that you hear in the background are not far from the Ukraine capital. Russia's President Putin has threatened the use of nuclear arms and has put his arsenal on standby. Evangelist Pat Robertson says Putin is fulfilling Bible prophecy. So what could this conflict signify? The next Third World War? Or maybe the end of planet Earth? You'll want to hear what my next two guests have to say about the end times. Next, as America and the world is listening to About Space Today. Ever dream of an island getaway at an all-inclusive resort? Or going on an island-hopping cruise to multiple island destinations? See sun-bleached beaches and swim in the azure waters of the Caribbean Sea. Call today for your special discount prices to your island getaway. This is a special offer for About Space by calling 877-747-8631. And let's go and explore the islands of the Caribbean. Welcome back. Joining me today are two nationally acclaimed authors. Georgia author Jerry Robb, whose 7-book series about life in the end times, The End, the Book, and retired military veteran and aviator, a writer, a speaker, a man who has published over 500 articles and is a teacher of Bible prophecy, Pete Garcia. Thank you for joining me. Certainly both of you have the credentials and the expertise and knowledge of the prophecies and the end times. Well, gentlemen, the war is raging and so many innocent people, many of them children, are dying across the Ukraine. Evangelist Pat Robertson says Putin is fulfilling Bible prophecy. What did he mean by that? Pete Garcia.
So I think what's going on with the world today, and in particular with the conflict in Ukraine, with the Russian invasion, isn't the fulfillment of prophecy, but I think it is setting the groundwork for it to be fulfilled.
Jerry?
Yes, I agree with Pete. Matter of fact, I'm writing an article about that right now, Ukraine and the war of Gog and Magog. It's certainly taking place in the area that's going to be involved.
We've heard the terms Magog, Gog. What does that mean?
If you go back to the history of it, we know that Magog consists of the territory north of the Black Sea. And this has been recorded by Herodotus, Philo, Josephus, some other writers from that era, the first century era and before. So we know that the area of Magog is north of where the Bible centers all of prophecy, which is Jerusalem and Israel. So it's to the extreme north, but we also know from history that Magog consists really of everywhere from what we would consider Ukraine today all the way over to China. So that whole landmass was called Magog.
You can read all about it in Ezekiel 38, 39. It spells it out very precisely, as all these prophecies do. Magog was, I believe it was Noah's grandson or great-grandson, but it was also a person, but it was also a land. It was, in Ezekiel, it is described as Gog of Magog, and in Revelation, it's described as Gog and Magog.
Jerry, how do you explain looking at science and the Bible at this point? What's happening today?
But prophecy is the only Bible stories that have never been fulfilled are the ones that pertain to the last days, fulfilled precisely.
Pete Garcia, your comments.
Ukraine is important to him because of its religious implications, as Jerry mentioned. I think Kiev has been was the founding of the location of the founding of the Eastern Orthodox religion going back to the 9th century. So there's a long, complicated history with Ukraine, and Ukraine itself holds significance to Putin. I think this is setting the groundwork for the Gog-Magog war down the road as we push Russia further into the arms of China and we push that greater divide between the East and the West.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Authors Jerry Robb and Pete Garcia. And join Don Meyer this Friday for another America in Space program, and have your family and friends join us each week. Follow us on Facebook at AboutSpace.today for launches and landings. About Space Today closes with Ukraine's patriotic song. Thanks for joining me. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.